All right, Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, episodes 5 and 6. Let's talk about it. This is the live breakdown. Of course, my name is Carcino, and we're going to get into this. So let's get ready to dig deep and get into the breakdown. Mainly of this episode here. Oh, you ain't get a notification, Coco? Yeah, I didn't hear anything go off. I understood why. I know why the politics of why you're not getting a notification um, involving this, but it is what it is. We just move forward. Um, Michael Jordan in this one was back to being candid, Mike, as they kind of continue on with the Dream Team. And he confirms what I've already told you. Michael Jordan wasn't the reason he wasn't on the Dream Team, but the person he was on the phone with told him, "Oh, don't worry, that guy's not going to be on the Dream Team." Boom. That's what they told Mike. Mike, don't worry. He ain't going to be on the Dream Team. The guy you think about, don't worry. He ain't going to be on the team. Mike was like, but I never said it. But Mike didn't want to play with him and didn't care if he did. But that decision is not supposed to be on the shoulders of Michael Jordan. That decision was made by one other person, and that person being Rod Thorne. As I told you. So if anybody tell you I don't know this game, they don't know the game. Judah Man, you're listening to a documentary tell you that. Nobody wanted to play with Isaiah. Why wouldn't they? It's a lie. Charles Barkley would have played with him. Clyde Drexler would have played with him. Larry would have played with him. Magic would have played with him. Everybody would have played with Isaiah. They played with him in the All-Star game, so why wouldn't they be able to play with him here? They didn't like that he was a champion and didn't follow under the beat of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't like him because he's the only guy in the NBA who has more wins over Michael Jordan. The most wins, 36 times he's beaten Michael Jordan. Nobody else could say that. Nobody else can say that. So I get why he's upset. Now let's get to the breakdown. And this is one of the things I was talking about with this saga is when they went to the Dream Team and all these wonderful things that happened during the Dream Team. They went back to '92, and they kind of highlighted how Jordan became like this mega star. But early in his career, I'm glad they at least touched a little bit on some hard facts about Michael Jordan and his political stance of not backing the black candidate, even though he was running up against a racist Republican guy that everybody knew and wanted to like get this guy out of office. Michael Jordan refused to do a video or a commercial or just a 10-second spot to help boost that candidate, knowing what that guy stood for. A lot of people were upset with Michael Jordan, like Jesse Jackson. Um, like I think Harold Washington was upset. There's a lot of people who were not happy with how that went down. Well, the dynamics changed because now no longer do you see Michael Jordan, the man, or Michael Jordan. He became a mega star after the Olympics. He's an international star. It's funny how it's funny how a documentary makes people forget or not even know what's going on. A documentary only is going to show you the highlights of something. Like today, I was glad that they finally showed the other side, that Tony Kukoc game. They always talked about how Michael and Scotty just go after Tony Kukoc and how they shut Tony down and Tony did nothing. You would never know they played a second game. Nobody probably knew that until tonight. I knew because I watched the doggone Olympics, but everybody else didn't know. And what they saw was Tony Kukoc wasn't afraid of Scottie Pippen or Michael Jordan in that second game. He said, okay, I know how y'all going to play me. So they sped the game up and played at a very fast pace, kind of how the Euro style is now. And what Tony could do better than Scotty, he could pass. He was only one hand dominant, which was his left. He never really developed his right hand. But he was very effective with his left. He could do different things. And I saw him use his length on Scotty and get around Scotty and get some layups, get some shots over Scotty, and set Scotty up where he could deliver passes. And even though they were getting blown out, he showed what he could do. Like he wasn't going to back down from the challenge. Even though they were trying to pick him up full court, he was expecting it. He would give up the ball and then move. And they said they were prepared for it the second time around. And even though they got beat by 20 because they just don't have the best players on the planet all on one team, it showed Tony had some metal in him. He had some, yeah, he had what it takes. He was no punk. Now, let's get to the nitty gritty. As it went on, it shows something very key that I like, which was the best thing on the documentary for me, was Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson and that dream team, when Magic take the ball and throw it into the rafters. They done brought the whole United States, Chicago Stadium. He said they brought the whole Chicago Stadium all the way here. That's the real Magic Johnson. Like nobody really gets to see that guy. That's Magic. Magic don't like to lose. Magic don't ever really lose. Like ever. You understand? Magic don't lose. This is a guy that when the 80s went to the finals like what, 8 times out of 10 years? He ain't known for losing. Right, 5 championships in the 80s. Went there 8 times, so he's used to going. Yes, I know he lost in 91. Damn it, he had HIV. What you want him to do? He know he's gonna get that in the middle of the series. I mean, he went against the bad boy Pistons. When that's gonna happen. You're gonna get swept. So anyway, he tells Michael Jordan, because he gets tired of these foul calls they giving for the Bulls and Jordan and all that. He told him they didn't brought the whole Chicago stadium. They didn't just put the thing in here. And Jordan, he didn't even deny it. He just said, "Hey, it's the '90s." So it's the '90s. What that's supposed to mean? So what is the '90s? Like, what is that supposed to mean? It's the '90s. Are you kidding? Telling Magic Johnson that was just gonna set him off. Oh yeah, but he was right. Anytime you get near him, it's a foul. He's like, you can't get this close to Michael. It's a foul. But Michael was right. He was like, are you kidding me? When the last time you fouled out of a game? But they're showing you a lot of the different things that I spoke on that you guys didn't see until today. The whole impact of Michael Jordan and the gambling. And it's like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. We're finally getting to some juicy things of, well, okay, now we're supposed to hear or see this is some of the things that's supposed to happen. But no, we didn't. They kind of like gave us a soft brush over the situation because they went to the White House, they went over the thing with the election, but you ignore Craig Hodges and what happened with Craig Hodges and why and the White House and why he wasn't there anymore. How could you do this documentary and not go over the Craig Hodges situation? Thanks, Casey. I tried to tell him, oh, it's a lot more to come. Yeah, so now you get to learn a lot more about Ethiopia and our involvement with Ethiopia and how important Ethiopia was. Yeah, people are watching this thing talking about soundtracks, and I'm like, man, this is what y'all taking from this. There's so much stuff that's going on there. People don't even know. I mean, they rarely went into the gambling thing. They rarely went into the fact about what was said in the book. They glanced over a lot of things. The Sam Smith book, the Jordan rules. They talked about it. They never even really got into it. They just told us about it. I'm like, dude, there's a lot in that book, the Jordan rules, that was going on about the fights in there and how Bill Cartwright didn't want the ball and when the shots going down the court and all these things. And the fact that Horace Grant was the snitch. Horace know he was snitching. He's like, I'm just gonna take it. Cause I'm like, dude, that's you best friends with the doggone writer. Oh, me and his relationship, I had nothing to do with none of that stuff in the book. Horace, Michael Jordan know it was you. Like, what Jordan say, man? That was Horace, man. That's Horace thing. You hear Jordan come right out and tell him he was a snitch. He snitched on the whole organization because he was jealous of Michael Jordan. I told you, everybody on the team was jealous of him and didn't even like him. But yet, they the good guys. See how they got y'all fooled? I told y'all, I'm gonna see how many of y'all was loving Horace Grant after episodes 5 and 6. I was like, just wait next week when they go into the snitching. But they ain't even dive deep into it. They ain't know Horace. I mean, it was a lot of situations Jordan said that they didn't even go into that. That Jordan knew it was Horace because he said, I know what was said. He said, this is being said wrong, but I know who the people that was there. I know Scotty ain't said nothing. And I know damn well Phil Jackson ain't told him nothing. The only other person that was there was Horace. That's the only person. So I already know him and Horace got a friendship and all this stuff. They buddy. That drove a wedge between Horace and Michael. They were never close. Ever again. Ever. After 91, that book came out, the whole 92 season, the Bulls was just crushing everybody. But Horace was kind of like, Mike didn't really deal with him. He stayed more to Scotty. Mike and Scotty were the thing. Horace was the odd man out at that point. Yeah, that's why they held Horace up, and Horace was waving his hand. Yeah, pumping his hand in the air. When they put out the Bulls, BJ's, that's what he gonna say. Oh, it was everybody. I'm quite sure Horace isn't the only guy he got information from. There's some security people that probably talked to him. Remember, Sam Smith was around too in the beginning. So he was around a lot. The NBA knew they were wrong with the Isaiah Thomas situation. They had no idea how big that thing was going to become. They thought it was going to be something they did. Nobody cared. They won. It would go away. It did not go away. It became a major problem and a sticking point that lasted in the controversy of how could they do this to Isaiah. And there was a lot of backlash on the NBA. And the NBA, and Isaiah did get a gold medal. He got a gold medal, but it was in the what was it, 1994 games when they came back and they had Dream Team 2. He got selected for Dream Team 2, but he got injured. He tore his Achilles right at the last game of the season. So when he tore his Achilles, that was it. He was done. His playing days was over. So he showed up to the Olympics, but Kevin Johnson took his place. Joe Dumars was on that team. Shaq was on that team. Dominique Wilkins was on that team. And that's why Shaq always say Dream Team 2 would have beat Dream Team 1. They had Dan Marley, Reggie Miller on that team. And they won by large margins, just like Dream Team won. So Isaiah and the rest of the players who was injured, who got selected, did get a gold medal. So Isaiah got a gold medal for playing with Dream Team 2, but it's always going to be bitter to him that he wasn't on Dream Team 1 because he fit the criteria and should have been there. And the NBA has been trying to apologize to him for that for years. So they've always been trying to fix it, and because they knew they made a boo-boo. They made a decision out of haste. Yeah, I had to get the Ashante video back up. They wouldn't let me, they took it down the first time. So everybody wanted to see Ashante naked. So there you got it. So congratulations. Patreon members. It's something there for everybody. I mean, Don't worry, we got some more naked supermodels coming up for you guys in the Patreon. Don't worry about it. Might do it tomorrow though. Today y'all full. I done fed y'all too fast, too much, too fast. With a lot more to come. A lot more. Now, let's get back to this. So as they're breaking down the series and the season, they start going into Jordan's past with the gambling and how they got his old gambling buddy. And they, he used to play golf with him and all of these things. And they found the check. And they never really went down this road on how this played an effect on the NBA's investigation on did Michael Jordan bet on, NBA games, because he was being compared to Pete Rose. This is supposed to be the last dance, and ESPN and drug this thing out 10 series long. I'm like, y'all the one drug this thing out. Nobody done drug this out but y'all. So ESPN ain't got nobody else to blame but themselves. They drug this thing out all the way 10 episodes to cover one damn season. And then you're going all the way back to rookie years and Nike deal and everything else. And I was glad to see that with David Falk and the athletes, even though they kind of gave that a soft glance. It showed the elevation of the gym shoe and the marketing of the athlete for basketball, and show people what Michael Jordan, where he was and how much Nike really didn't even believe in him. And me, I have a good relationship with Jordan Brand. I know the president of Jordan Brand, in case you guys forgot. And I know H, who was on the show today. I got his book. He signed it for me and everything. Ain't that crazy? Michael Jordan's company. And your boy was sitting in there in the meeting with all of them. I could get Jordans like that ain't even out yet. If I could, I'll make a call. If I make that call, it's done. I mean, that was the thing. We were getting fighters. We were getting fighters and trying to get boxing fighters Jordan deals. When Drake got his Jordan deal, we were there. The guy from Chicago got his Jordan Brand deal. We was right there. Kevin Durant used Jordan Brand as if he was finna leave. And that's when he made his move to make a whole nother decision. And they played the Olympic game here in Chicago. Your boy Cino was right here, bruh. Why would I call somebody and call H at this time of night to prove something to somebody I don't know? See what this says? Believed to Achieve by Howard H. White. Personally autographed to your boy by Howard H. White. The vice president, who you just saw today on the show. Now, like I was saying, and I have the president's number, who's from Philly, and he's every bit of Philly, and he the president of the company. But let me tell you something right now. Some that you probably wouldn't understand or probably do understand. I don't know. Back in those days, there was, just like they said, Adidas wasn't even equipped to make a custom shoe for Michael Jordan. I'm glad you saw the commercial with the Converse weapons. Weapons used to cost $60. At first, they were $30, and then they went to like $59.99. And everybody was outraged. And this is in the 80s. Those shoes are $50. That's crazy. If you got the Magic Johnson, they was 54. And I think the Isaiah Thomas shoes was 30. Bernard King's was 30. But Larry's shoes and Magic Johnson's, when they came out with the Magics and they had the purple and gold weapons, Larry Bird had the black one. They couldn't make them in green at the time, so they had to make them in black. So they put Larry's as black, and then they had Magic's in the purple and gold. And those weapons was the highest selling weapons ever. Well, the shoe deal was structured different. Nike was so Phil Knight, the owner of Nike, was so reluctant in giving Michael Jordan his deal. He actually gave him a percentage of some of the stock that they had. It was like the biggest investment deal. They gave him a $500,000 deal. You know, I wish they would have talked about this. I mean, they just scraped the surface on so much stuff. This is done as a Michael Jordan puff piece more than the last day. I'm like, if you're gonna talk about it, go down the road. Like, give people something. I'm like, I'm giving people more, and they ain't paying me. $500,000 deal Michael Jordan got when he signed with Nike. They had about 4 to 5 different clauses. If Michael Jordan don't make the All-Star game, they get to take back 100,000, or they get to take back some percentage points. If Michael Jordan doesn't, if he missed so many games and he got to play this many games, if he don't, we're snatching this off the shelf, or we're gonna stop. And, you know, with Michael Jordan, if he sells 3 million shoes, he could do this and that. They was like if he could sell $3 million in revenue, like if he can do that within 3 years, then we might extend the contract. $3 million in revenue in 3 years. They was like, if he does that in 3 years, then we could talk about possibly moving the shoe. They made $130 million in the first year. $130 million in the first year. And they were worried on if they could make $3 million profit. And they had all these out clauses and everything. So Nike, by doing that, it was the greatest steal in the world. But now you got a problem because you didn't lock Michael Jordan down for a long period of time. So you're going to have to, you gave him basically a royalty deal because you didn't want to commit to giving Michael Jordan that much upfront money. So now he's getting a percentage of the shoes. Now the shoes is making all this money. Now, when it's time to re-up with Michael Jordan, you ain't finna walk away from Michael Jordan. You need Michael Jordan. Because now Nike ended up becoming a big power player in the game for representing for all the clients. And that's how David Falk got Charles Barkley. He got Patrick Ewing. He had Reggie Miller. He had all these guys under his umbrella. And he started getting those guys Nike shoes. And they started doing commercials for Nike. They had McDonald's. They had all these different things coming around for them. I thought it was very good the way they did. They started to go down the Nike train, but didn't quite go there. Then it was back to just showing the Bulls, Michael playing, and they basically just cut out Dennis Rodman for the entire rest of the episodes. And Well, they try to give you a little glimpse of what it was like to be Michael Jordan. So the second half was basically you seeing how Michael Jordan goes about his everyday life. Like Michael's gonna do this. Michael's gonna do this today. Michael's gonna do that today. Michael is gonna prepare to do this. Michael Jordan's getting ready to do this today. Michael Jordan's gonna do that. Oh, Michael Jordan is gonna do this. They were so keen on what Michael Jordan was going to do, how the media hounded him. Imagine if there was the internet. Michael Jordan wouldn't have probably played as long as he did if it was the internet. He couldn't deal it. Michael wouldn't been online. He ain't online now. You think Michael Jordan would be online back then? Hell no. Twitter, Facebook, somebody look at that. You see that? I mean, on my Patreon, what you got? A picture of LeBron James cheating, out cheating with Tristan Kardashian. Hold on. Yeah, I forgot I had the TV on down there. Yeah, all the Bulls fans hit me when that's going on too. Well, a lot of people got to understand something. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, we still got to do what we got to do. I know they didn't send out a notification. Sorry about that. That's why I told you to subscribe to my Twitter as well. I'll make sure I put it on Twitter so that you guys will have it. Now, when people see a lot of the things that you're involved in, like with Michael Jordan, how he can, like the moment he step out of a hotel room, go downstairs, boom, media, appearances, taking pictures. I couldn't deal with that probably for 5-10 minutes. Michael Jordan had to deal with it every day till he was burnt out. But then the media turned against him and started talking about gambling and Michael Jordan going to take the casino trip. Why is he gambling? And the team they were ready to turn on Mike. All that be like Mike, all that had wore off. Now the media is going to turn on Michael Jordan. And right when they turned on him, he retired. He won the championship. Then something happened to his dad, and y'all tried to blame gambling for the incident, and he walked away. Even Skip Bayless is trying to say, and I think his gambling has something to do with it. Why would his gambling? That's like the dumbest statement somebody could ever make about Michael Jordan. The NBA was gonna suspend Michael Jordan, and they just told him to you're going to take a break in retirement, so he could be off a year and a half. You think the NBA wanted Michael Jordan to walk away in 1993? He announced his retirement almost at the start of their season. So the odds were already out. So the Bulls were already favored. Vegas already had the Bulls like one of the favorites to win the championship. So when Michael announced his retirement, that dropped. But by then, the number was still there because so many people had bet it already and had it locked in place. Now the money on the Bulls was up there. So they had to make sure the Bulls at least got to the playoffs. Vegas had to cover. Like I tell you, it's so much more. I was always indifferent or impartial to the situation. Like me, I was always I don't really care type guy. Because I don't really care. What other people focus on and think I care about, I really don't. This episode just kind of showed me exactly where the Chicago Bulls were at the time of the first three-peat. It showed Danny Ainge blowing the defense to give up the three. Two defensive mistakes cost the Phoenix Suns game 6. You let Michael Jordan go to court, the whole court, lay the ball up 4 with 40 seconds, and you blow it just like that, real easy. He goes up the court, gets a layup. You go down, and Frank Johnson takes an ill-advised shot that he shouldn't have shot. Nobody should have shot that ball but Charles Barkley. He takes an ill-advised shot because he was open, misses it. The Bulls get the ball. They call a timeout. They're up 2. They come all the way down. A 2 was high. 3, you lose. They collapse down to stop the 2, leaving Danny Ainge left his man, which was John Paxson. Like Paxson said, the ball was never supposed to come to me. But Horace makes the pass, throws it out, and there it is. And where was Scottie Pippen? He scored 0 points in the fourth quarter, putting up another donut, showing Scottie Pippen was exactly what he was. Jordan scored every point in the fourth quarter except for the last 3 that was hit by John Paxson, which shows you what? Scottie Pippen was none but a cheerleader. Oh, Tony. I know, I be trying to tell him, man. It's so many different things that happen in time, and people just got to figure it out on their own, man. It's just, I mean, it'll either hinder you or make you better. Which one you gonna allow it to do? I'm just waiting on them to really get to the gist of something. They talk about something and they never really go down that road. They glance on something, they speak on it real like subtle, then they move on. Let's get to the grit. What happened with Will Purdue? Why did he punch Will Purdue in practice? What happened there? Why did Dennis Hobson go? Dennis Hobson up and he's gone. Why does Tony Kukoc hate Michael Jordan right now and Scottie Pippen? He don't really like none of the Bulls. And through all the championships they won, those last 3, Tony Kukoc never really had any connection with any of them. It's like they still held it against him, and he felt that. Why aren't we talking about that? What are we not getting? Why are we avoiding all of this? Where's Reinsdorf in this situation? You know, I'm like, man, what is going on here? I thought this was the last dance. We are 6 episodes in, and I'm not mesmerized here. To see Kobe at the beginning, I say the best par for last. Seeing Kobe and probably hearing Kobe's last interview he ever done was was something else. And you see how adamant Kobe Bryant was when he said, I don't want, and you see how passionate he was. He said, there is no 5 championships, none without Mike. I don't like for people to put me above Mike. This is a guy who, when he was young, 18, he was like, yo, I'm going to be better than Mike. Because he's 18, 16, 17, whatever. He's a teenager. That's your attitude. But this Kobe Bryant at 41 years old, he's like, no, 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 don't even do that. Don't even compare me to him. Don't, no. Mike, don't even do it. Don't even do it. So he basically, all the people try to say Kobe better than Mike, he understands, he hear, just, right, don't even ask him about it. He don't even want to entertain that. That's how much out of that he was, and how much he was into his family and everything else. He's just out of that. The conversations with him and LeBron, who's better and all that. He don't even want to be put there. Like, he's like, I know there's none of the stuff that I wouldn't have 5 championships if he didn't help me. But it's funny because you get to hear how Mike was talking about him before he really had a chance to like know him. When he was playing him in the All-Star game, it was funny. He was like, man, that Laker kid, that Laker kid, boy, he gonna make it happen. He ain't letting the game come into him. He ain't gonna let the game come to him. He gonna make it happen. He didn't know what that meant. Kobe don't know. Kobe don't know what that. Kobe was like he said, I didn't come up. I'm known as the guy that missed shot air balls as a rookie. That's how they see him as. So he just wanted to get his respect on the court. That's what he was in it for. That's what was important to Kobe. He wanted to be respected. So he was like, man, he gonna go after everybody one-on-one. And it's funny that they was talking about that. And that's why he was like, I'm gonna try to work him out down there. So that's why Mike wanted to work him out down there. He's like, I'm gonna take him down there and work him out. And the reason why he wanted to take him down there and work him out so he could try to tire him out. This is an all-star game. So I'm just bringing this up as a reminder so that people will kind of understand what we're talking about when we say how the game is different. This is an all-star game. And they're talking about schemes. All these schemes and sets, everything. Oh man, this is crazy. We were just talking about that. I was just telling y'all about me and Craig Hodges. That's Montel Griffith, the first man to beat Roy Jones. Nate Jones, Craig Hodges, me. I was just telling y'all about Craig. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, where were they at? Where was Craig? Where's the rest of the team? Oh, and there's me with Jordan, the president of Jordan Brand. Me and Larry. In case you thought I was lying, the president of Jordan Brand. Bro, you don't Photoshop that. What you talking about? See, that's H and Larry. You see the logo in the back? That's the Jordan Brand crew. That's Johnny. And look who's at Michael Jordan house. That's where he won the 6 championships at. Oh, well, it ain't coming through. But it's funny. All of this is hilarious to me. Looking at all these old memories, they are cracking me up. Me and Trinidad getting all the Boricuas. Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico. Yeah, you know Trinidad. You get all the Boricuas. Puerto Rico. Oh, that's an old school picture of me. Oh, love to win. Always love to win. Man, I had an exciting life. And Johnny again. Yeah, it was good times, man. Good times. Me and Twister and everybody thought we were brothers. They're like, "Is Twister your brother?" I'm like, "No, Twister's not my bro." Man, Cena was the man. 40-inch gold chain with a big Wu Tang medallion, big mob suits. Tell you, boy, living like the mobster. Cena was living clean like the mobster. So hopefully we'll see more on six. What we got 7 and 8 coming up. So hopefully on 7 and 8 they cover something more. I think we're just getting more of the same. I don't know what else they can come up with now to drag this thing out because they just glancing over all the topics and giving it a once over and just giving us Bulls highlights. Man, you talking about that suit was made for me. That was my first suit made for me. I was like, I had a big gold, my 40-inch gold piece with a big Wu Tang medallion on the end of it, man. Shh. Where that suit at now? Shoot, your guess is as good as mine. I think I gave it to Goodwill one time. The Goodwill kids got it. So some Goodwill kid is out there looking sharp. So yes, sir. I do have the connection to Jordan Brand, but I don't have a reason to call them. See, that's the thing about me. I call people when I have a reason to call them. If I don't have a reason to call them, I don't pick up my phone and say, let me dial them. Man, I went for a walk and my whole body is like broken down from it. Man. All right, man. I'm gonna get out of here. Don't forget, you can always support the page, hitting up the Cash App. Carcino, the name on the Cash App. And definitely don't forget that Patreon. It's cracking. I'm out.